Hello friends, I've turned the air conditioning off and cracked open the windows just for a minute to share some thoughts, last minute thoughts on this special session that's coming up tomorrow. I've written about it twice now, and I'll surely write one more time about the aftermath of it all. I hope to be at the Capitol tomorrow morning to see what's going on, to see in person, maybe even offer my own testimony on it if I can sneak in there. So I only have a minute, otherwise I'm going to boil to death here. So I listened to Representative Judy Boyle, her interview on the radio just about 45 minutes ago, and she had some interesting thoughts. Before I get to that, I wanted to mention the same station they played an excerpt of Speaker Scott Bedke. He clarified that the $410 million for the public school system would not be allocated in this special session. Rather, it would simply be appropriated. The money would be set aside, and then the legislature next year would decide what to do with it. I think that's an important clarification. I still don't think it's necessary. We've been putting so much money into our public school system. The year-over-year increase the last 2 years has been astronomical. So we're continually giving them more and more money. I don't think it's necessary to give them another $400 million, as well as make it a permanent expenditure with a 3% escalation clause, as I've and others have written about. Representative Boyle made a very good point during her interview on the radio, and that is we should not have permanent expenditures decided by a lame duck legislature. Many people in this legislative session who will be at the special session tomorrow are already done. They've either decided to retire or they were defeated in their primaries, so they are not coming back next year. And it seems wrong, as the representative pointed out, for people in that position to make decisions that will bind us going forward. That seems like just a bad idea. If we really need these expenditures, if it's really such an important thing that we spend all this money on public education, $400 million additional each year, then why not bring it up in the regular session? Bring it up next January. Well, of course, the problem with that tactically is that the legislature starting next January is likely to be a lot more conservative, especially the Senate, and they might balk at some of this spending, whereas the current legislature, especially those in their lame duck status, might be more willing to spend that taxpayer money. And so I think that's why they're pushing it now. Representative Boyle had an idea where she would like to introduce or to tweak the bill tomorrow, that instead of just rubber stamping the governor's bill, that not only cuts taxes, gives a tax rebate, sets a new flat tax, and then sends the $400 million to public education, that instead of the expenditure, they give a December property tax holiday. Basically, the state would use some of their surplus to pay your property tax bills for the entire month of December. Now, it may not be much, but maybe it would be a better use of that money than just giving it to the public school system, which clearly never has enough. It's kind of what I said in my last piece about how conservatives, Republicans, should be more targeted with what they use government power for, to reward their base rather than rewarding public school systems that churn out socialists and big corporations that are just using the government as a piggy bank. Invest in Idaho families, I said. Well, Representative Boyle's idea would be an investment in Idaho homeowners, not only families, but also retired people who they've paid off their houses long ago, and now they're sitting on a fixed income, living off pensions or Social Security, and here they are, being forced to pay money to the government for the right to live in their own house. Property tax is immoral, and I would like to see it done away with, but for now, her idea is interesting. I'd like to see it actually thrown out there and discussed. Anyway, if you want more information on the bill itself, Idaho Freedom Foundation just released their score of the bill, where they go through each of the components and decide, does this improve liberty, or does it reduce liberty? Does it grow government? Does it cut government? Does it raise taxes? Does it cut taxes? And they look at all the provisions of the bill and score it one way or the other, and then give you a final score. Spoiler alert, the final score is negative. But however, it is actually a very good resource to see what each component of the bill is in plain English. So you can go find that at idahofreedom.org. I didn't write it, just think it's a really good resource. So yeah, I will catch up with you all probably sometime tomorrow during the special session. So take care. See you there.